It's all a reflection of what's going on inside. The storyline that's playing. There's just a generic storyline, yes, but there's also a specific storyline. Somebody crossing the street, I had to change lanes. Somebody sitting there working on the car, red truck. It's almost like you're looking at a movie. You are the movie. All the movies are about you. And so you're looking at this movie, the movement of E, move E. I think I'm gonna just talk about code for a while. I mean, I pretty much decoded this place, and it's like, okay, I'm gonna just talk about code. I know people don't like it, but there's some people that do, so I'm gonna talk about it because that's kind of what I'm gonna write. I think I'm gonna write a book, do a book. I've been talking about it forever, and so I'm gonna just go ahead and start on it. So right in front of me is a bug-free truck. I went for a walk. And decided to recorded a video pretty much about nothing. And then I decided to go get me something to eat because I ain't eaten nothing this morning. So this is my first outing today. Bug free. Right there. Computers have a bug. Cartoon says, "You're bugging me, boy. Get out of my way." It's all a cartoon, people. It's real, but it's a cartoon. It's actually, God is always looking at your heart, and everything that's going on, the movie going around used to test your heart and perfect your heart and get your heart right. That's really all that's happening. All that's happening, okay, I'm going to get some food, right? But that's really not really what's happening. That's not really what's happening. I think I'm going to get food, and I think I'm going through my routine. I think I'm going through my daily whatever, and I have my goals that I'm doing. That's not really what's happening. The inner man is being renewed, transformed, and you don't even know it. It's not in a man's way to direct his steps. I turned this. Wasn't even aware that I did this. I turned this on to heat and on my feet. I didn't know I was doing that. I wasn't even aware of it. It was habit. That's what I'm saying. Some stuff we're just running on a program. And if you got a spouse, they can see your programs. And you can see their programs, but they don't want to admit they have one. Everybody has a pattern. I told a friend of mine that a long time ago, about 15 years. I said, before I saw what I saw, before I saw the Shekinah glory and all these codes, I said, everybody's got a pattern. Do I have a pattern? Yeah, everybody's got a pattern. You know when they're going to call. You know when they're going to email. You know what you already heard you already know what they're going to say, unless they're really doing some inner work and downloading some new truths from above. If the Holy Spirit's teaching them, they're going to give you something new. And a lot of times they'll say, look what I learned. And you say, yeah, that's cool. You ready for the next thing? I mean, really, this sounds kind of, I don't want it to sound mean, but everybody thinks their little circuit is something, but it's already been done and everybody else is doing it. You've already seen it. The same storyline. You've seen the same storyline. If I go to this bank and deal with this teller, I go over here across the street and deal with that teller, they're saying the same stuff. If I go to that movie over there, that movie theater, and get my ticket, they're saying the same stuff as that person over there getting a ticket. It's a fractal. What's happening here is happening here. What's happening in this family is happening in this family. It might not, one family might be unhealthy, the other one's healthy. There might be different shades of that. Different shades of from unhealthy to healthy. But there's just a fractal. They're all moving towards wholeness. Usually with a family, if one's moving towards wholeness and the other one's moving towards demoniac, there's usually going to be a split. If one's moving toward narcissism, one's moving towards the mind of Christ, there's going to be a split. How can two walk together except they be in agreement? How can two walk together except they be in agreement? Amos 3:3. If you start looking at life, like this guy up here on the pole, you know, when I worked with the phone company, I used to have to go up on poles like that. People are like, oh, that's scary. No, it's not. It's not that bad. On a ladder, yeah. But on one of those things, it's like cheating. Those guys are cheating. But it's electrical, so it's kind of dangerous electrical. You got two up there working and three down below just standing there. What y'all doing, breakfast or lunch? Lunch. All right, let me get a number one, add bacon. And...
Is it a meal?
Yeah.
What's a drink?
Half and half. Tea. Large. Sweet, unsweet.
Are the fries large also?
No.
No?
Yeah, might as well.
Any sauces?
No.
Can I get a name?
Ron.
Ron? It's going to be 1180. So you're all set.
So go through the drive-thru, phone call. I set my phone down, she's talking, a phone call comes in, missed call. Usually when that happens, when you really cut life down to its minimum, you hardly ever get phone calls, you hardly ever get texts, hardly ever get emails. The only thing that comes in are the spams and the ridiculousness. Because as you grow at a certain rate, I'm telling you, when you really get serious about spiritual growth, serious about it, the people around you are just like this. Most people around you are like this. And they think you're crazy. But you look at the average and you think, that's crazy. They don't know what the cube is. They don't know what the 666 is from your fingertip to your elbow. Hey, look at that box. There's another box. Chick-fil-A's got their box. Wendy's has their box. Everybody's got a little box that they're working in. That movie, The Cube, is really, I think the reason they took it off air, because there's so much truth to it. It might have made people go crazy. Jim Henson, The Cube. If you can find that movie, you got to watch it. Even if you have to pay for it, it's worth it. Jim Henson, The Cube. He was in this cube, and people would come in and out of his cube. Who are you? Who are you? He even had somebody that looked like him try to come in and say that it was him. You're not me. Who are you? I gotta find that video and watch it again, because now that I know what I know about this reflection out here. So you get all, so I got up, walked around the block. I've got this tag UNCG. I got these cars stalled. I got this lady like she was scared of me because of it. I just got up and threw my hood on and took off. Tried to brush my hair, but you know how you need to wet it, but I didn't want to wet it. But anyway, I got all these things going on around me. It's like a movie. The movement of E. Team member crossing. Why ain't that sign out here? Why is that sign not right here? But think about it. Let's take it a little deeper. Team member. Who is your team? Team member cross NG. Team. T-M. It's tea time. M. Member. Remember.
What's the name?
Ron.
There you go.
Thank you.
My pleasure.
Have a good one.
You too?
That's a half, right?
Yes, sir.
I don't know. Is there any ice in this? It's all melted. Can I get a
Okay.
cup of ice?
Yeah, of course.
Just a cup, small cup of ice.
Here you go.
All right, thank you. I used to get mad about them not putting ice, but I always check it and say, "Can you just give me a cup of ice?" And I'll do it myself. Team. Tea time. EAM. A is blood, E is the spirit, M is water. Water, blood, spirit. You can't really be on a team if you don't have the spirit. If you don't have the spirit, everybody's out for themselves. You're just a water and blood creature. M-A. Without the E, you don't know what team is. And see, the word team is the cross, right? T is the cross. E is spirit, A is blood, M is water. So your water vessel and your blood water vessel needs the spirit and go to the cross to really understand what a team really means. You don't even know what it means to be a team player. You get the Holy Spirit because you're out for yourself, the flesh mind. Without the spirit, your body is just a program running on the flesh mind. Team member crossing. The cross. It's always about the cross. It's always about taking up your cross. There's some people that listen to me that are enemies of the cross. You'll never know they're listening. But they're sitting there they're wanting to mock you, and they'll do it in ways on their channels that, whether they're demon possessed or what, but they are part of the hive. And they know you can see through them, and they know that you know that they're just part of the system. The whole system, the whole devil system, is to pull you into Gematria, pull you into New Age, pull you into the Book of Enoch, to pull you into any false reality. The whole system trying to pull you into any false reality, and that's what the 1,000 points of light. The 1,000 points of light. That's what that means. Solomon was pulled into idolatry by his 1,000 concubines. God warned him not to have many wives. So this whole setup, YouTube channels, you might think that they're independent, but they're not. A lot of them are just being paid by the CIA or the Jesuits or the Freemasons, and they might not even know they're in it. And so the Freemasons are promoting their channel because they're trying to pull people into Lucy Lights, you know. It's this whole system. I mean, even the way this parking lot's shaped to this theater, it's drawing you in to go watch a movie that some man made to promote false doctrine and false theology. The lady in red. The whole system's the lady in red. It's a distraction. It's all scripted. When you wake up to it's all scripted, think about Jesus. He came down here and followed God's script to the T. He dotted every I and crossed every T because the I was pointing to him and the T, the cross, was pointing to him. So he dotted every I and crossed every T because it pointed to the Lamb slain before the foundation of the world, because he was actually walking it out. Now listen, the Bible makes it clear that the hive mind, their music, their radio, their TV, their YouTube, their Facebook, all that, the fake friends, the Delilahs, the Jezebels, the catfish, the narcissists, the psychopaths, sociopaths, the corporations, they're all trying to pull you back in to the will of man, the will of the flesh, or the will of the Gentiles. The will of the Gentiles is contrary to God. The holidays of the Gentiles is a mockery of the holy days. Everything in the Gentile system, their money system, everything. The dollar bill has a snake on the pole. It points back to Jesus becoming sin for us. Everything that they do in the Gentile nations is a mockery of the truth. So when you don't step into it and you start revealing it, you're like Neo in the Matrix, and they got to kill you, and there's 1,000 Agent Smiths. So if you're a Neo, if you start to see this, you see through the Matrix. So imagine 1,000 Agent Smiths all around. Facebook, YouTube, news, media, politics, education, college. All those things are just Agent Smiths trying to pull you into the will of the flesh, the will of the Gentiles, or the will of mankind. They don't want you to do in the will of God at all. When you play the game, when you play this game long enough, you'll be like, well, I cut that agent off, boom, another one pops up. Cut that agent, another one pops up. Cut that agent off, another one pops up. And then you start to look and you say, oh, as I'm approaching the mind of Christ, the world is approaching the mind of the flesh or the devil or whatever you want to say. And they're trying to keep the balance, right? You got the flesh versus the spirit everywhere. So as you approach this and you knock down all fake reality bubbles, then the people who are promoting the fake reality bubbles they don't even know they're agents. They have to show up in your world to promote a fake reality bubble. Not even real. What's real? Just sitting here in this parking lot, eating a sandwich, talking. I don't need to sit in some fancy restaurant with a bunch of fake people that talk about the Matrix. Don't really matter who wins. We've seen this game every 4 years. Oh, They're going to be a savior to the whole world. It never works. Because the man-made system always fails. Until Jesus comes back to rule and reign for 1,000 years, it's all going to crash and burn every time. Until your marriage, until both people walk in the Spirit, it's going to crash and burn. You're going to be frustrated. Probably be a separation. If not a separation, be some cheating going on or something. The Bible says marriage is good and it's honorable in all things and bed undefiled. But when you tie into anything down here, if I go take a job over there, if you go marry this one or that one, you're tying in, you're dropping into the system. You're tied to the world system, man or woman. And that's when you have to really start taking up your cross. It's easy to be single and take up your cross. When you got a bunch of people around you all the time, let's say you work over there with, let's say they have like 600 employees. You're rubbing shoulders with all those people. You got to take up your cross. I actually worked for that company one time at another building. They have another building that I worked at. I worked for them, but it was at another location. And you might say, well, I don't like it. Well, you're getting paid to take up your cross. You're getting paid to serve one another. I mean, come on. You're getting paid to serve one another. The greatest among you is a servant. I barely missed breakfast. She turned the sign as I pulled up. Even what you eat in the morning, that's a program. I remember breaking that program. I was of the mindset, well, it's breakfast time, so I got to eat breakfast. It's lunchtime, I can't eat breakfast. And when I broke that paradigm, I thought, where did that program come from? I didn't use this term. I was like, who put that in my mind? If I want to eat eggs at 2 eggs, some bacon, and hash browns, and I want to eat breakfast on my lunch break, I'm doing it. If I want to eat a hamburger for breakfast, I'm doing it. You've been programmed in so many ways, it's not even funny. Because your mama did it, your grandparents did it, everybody else is doing it, so you think that's the way it's supposed to be. Shatter the programs. Shatter the fake reality bubbles. And if you can't see it, if you're not able to be introspective and see it, then ask God to show it to you, and He will. Because we live in these fake reality bubbles for so long, it's very painful when you break it. It's very painful because you have to give up that blue blanket. The Charlie Brown cartoon. The blue blanket is your security blanket. It's the flesh, and the flesh mind is not even real. It's a program. And God allows that to be birthed. We're birthed in here, and we're programmed by our parents, our grandparents, or whatever, our society, to be able to function. But then there comes a point in your life where you start to break free from the programs that you've been programmed, and you start to think for yourself. And if you take that to the nth degree, they will think you crazy. Why don't you watch TV? Why don't you listen to music? Why don't you go to the movies? Why don't you go here, do that? If you're really entrenched in it when you're younger, let's go to the bar. I don't think so. As you move out of that environment, the bar hoppers, you moved away from that, then you move to this one, then the church people, the churchy people. You better not miss a day of church. What? You trying to stress me out? You break that paradigm. Those people. So the bar people cut you off. The church people cut you off. Look at this tow truck. That's part of the movie. Now think about it. Why is this hive, Agent Smith, circling? I just sit here. I just pull up. That's not nothing is a coincidence. Nothing out here is a coincidence. Tow truck. This is all a movie. Like I said, the Matrix or the simulation or the devil's fake reality bubbles. They're always trying to pull you into the will of the flesh, the will of the Gentiles, or the will of mankind. You're just chilling, doing God's work, whatever you do. It don't have to be anything great to you, but it could be, even if you reach one person, that person gets saved, it was a great work, even if it's just one person. When he pulled up, I was talking about asking God to break those. You don't even know. You feel like you don't have any. You feel like you're running on a program, but you don't even know how to explain it. Ask God to pull you out of the miry clay. If you're depressed, sad, regretful, living in the past, ask God to pull you out, to tow you out. I'll have to look back at the timestamp. But you're in a fake reality bubble that's not real. You're broken down. And the only one that can pull you out of it, is God. He has to reveal it to you first. But it's so painful that you admit that you need a tow. All right, I got to eat my sandwich. I don't know if anything I said helps anybody at all, even if it was just one piece of the conversation. Maybe it helps somebody, I don't know. But when you stay on script, they can't touch you. When they pull you off script, they can mess with your emotions and all that stuff.